I just got back home from work. I was like, what is that? We took a picture with confetti today, so I have confetti in my hair. Anyway, so today, I know I've been talking a lot about toxic workplace, and this is a subject that constantly on my mind, and I just kind of wanted to point a couple of things out. And one is, toxic workplaces could be at any company. It's not always that that company itself is cultivating that type of environment, but on the other hand, it could be. So, you know, kind of looking at it at both sides is something you have to do, because I remember when I worked at an agency, I loved working there. You know, all of us were friends. There was this one person in particular that they would always say how toxic the workplace was, and I was just like, I don't get it. Like, I don't get that vibe. I don't feel that way. So I think just a reminder, just because it's toxic to one person doesn't mean it's toxic to other people. And if you feel like a workplace is toxic for you, I would highly suggest trying to find something else. And that is easier said than done. I know this because I had to get out of a situation like that last summer. Everyone who worked at the company liked it. The people were fine, but my stress levels there, the people that I was interacting with, just, we didn't mesh. And it was a kind of thing where I dreaded going to work every single day, and work is the only thing that I thought about. I always felt like I was messing up, I wasn't good enough. Why do they even have me working there if I suck at my job? But this was a couple months before I got married in December. I really had to analyze, like, can I afford to leave this job? Can I leave this job? I mean, it's a conversation I had. I talked to my parents, I heard their advice, I talked to Jonathan, and I just said, you know, I feel so confident that I could get a better job, a new job really quickly. A month before I quit, I already had a job lined up. That's where I'm currently at right now. For me, I had to take that step in order for like my mental health, and I think that is a huge priority. I know finances is the main reason why you wouldn't want to leave your job, you know, having that security there. My advice, start looking for other jobs. And even if it was getting to the point where I was looking for jobs and I just was like, you know what, nothing's coming up, I'm probably gonna quit, and if I don't find anything in the next 2 weeks, like get an offer in the next 2 weeks, I'm just gonna go and, I mean, I was a nanny before, I was also a barista before, find a job like that, because I need to make income, but I also cannot, like, mentally, I cannot stand this anymore. And I did not want to have a mental breakdown. I've never experienced anxiety before until I was at that specific job. But I will say there were people at that company, and even people on my team, that really enjoyed working there. They enjoyed their company. So I think it really, I don't know what it is. Sometimes I think when a place is really cliquey, that's really difficult, and it makes a place toxic. Whenever there's a lot of gossip, definitely makes the workplace super toxic, and everyone's just being negative. I'm not saying that venting is bad. I just think that when the only thing that you're doing is complaining about the people you work with or your specific job, then it's definitely time to look for something else. Another way that your company or your work environment can become toxic really is truly your supervisors and how they deal with situations, even just how they manage you and your time and your team. There was one company that I worked with that they were extremely picky with the way that they handled clients and how they handled their employees. For example, they didn't like how I took notes. So, and I'll be 100%, they later apologized to me for this, and I was fairly new. I had been there for like a month or two. They didn't like how I took notes. A specific supervisor didn't. And so what she did was she wrote me up and told me to take classes on how to write notes, even though those notes were for my own use. A couple months after that, maybe 5 or 6 months later, they apologized and said, like, we don't know why that was handled that way, but, you know, we're sorry, and that should not have happened. And in that instance, I mean, I loved where I worked, and that wasn't gonna make me quit, but the way that supervisor and other supervisors at that company talked to their employees really did put a damper on working there, because it was so great. The clients we had were great. The coworkers themselves, we were all like really close. So that is a situation where the supervisors or leadership team is just like flaunting their power in a way. And then another example is the place I worked last summer before I got married, and there it was truly me and my coworker felt like there was a lack of communication for sure, but there wasn't transparency. And if you know me, you know I'm a really, like, I will tell you how I feel. I will try to say it as respectful as possible, because I truly believe that you can say anything as long as you say it with respect and in a caring way. But I remember one day I was in a meeting with my manager and my supervisor, and both of them started to make fun of my coworker in front of me. She wasn't there. They were making fun of the way that she talked, the way she responded to like emails and things like that, and I was so shocked because I had never seen something so unprofessional. And besides that is the fact that that is just so rude on the human level that I knew, I'm like, I can't stay here. I already knew that they probably talked about me, but this just confirms it because they know that me and her are close and they were friends. The crazy thing is that every time I saw her interactions with them, she was always so polite and so nice, and I'm gonna be as nice as I can to you, and I'm at work just to get my work done. And so I just kept my head low at that specific job until I was able to find something new. So I would say, you know, supervisors, managers, the company itself could just be a toxic workplace, and especially cliques. It's hard. This is a hard one to tackle because inevitably there are going to be people that you get along with more than other people, or that you just mesh with more, you have more in common with, or I don't know, you could just have better conversations with, and that's normal. But I think when it comes to we are only talking to each other and we're going to completely ignore you all day long, except when we need something from you is when we're going to talk to you, but we're not going to include you in our lunches and our outing during work time. That is, girl, no. If it was just that, it wouldn't have bothered me, but because it was ignoring me and not talking to me ever until you actually need something from me, it's not even a hello, good morning, and you're making fun of my coworker in front of me. It was a lot. The last couple of weeks that I was there, I barely got any sleep because I would get there at work at 7:30 a.m. and then when I would get back home, I would like take max an hour break. That meant like I wanted to just like put my pajamas on, I wanted to eat something, and I would start working. And sometimes, some nights I would work until 3 a.m. and then back up the next morning. Issue with that is like I was never appreciated, and that really makes it hard to want to work for someone. I think for managers and leadership, it's really important for you guys to make your employees feel appreciated, like they're a valued part of the company, not just pretending but actually believing it and knowing it. A thank you is never not appreciated. Another thing that's tough in a toxic workplace is just feedback is great, right? I love getting feedback, but when it's always just tearing you down, if you tell me the things that I need to work on, that's great. If I ask you a question on like, okay, you want me to work on this, let's, you know, talk about different ideas on how to improve this specific project, what do you think, and you give me no response, then I don't know, kind of tough to work with people like that. It's like I'm not a mind reader. I've worked at places where I feel like agency life is for some people but not for all. I think I'm okay in an agency setting because I'm used to it right now, but clients, oh my god, let's talk about clients. It's so hard to make a client happy when they won't explicitly tell you what they want. And it's great if I can be creative with it, awesome. But if I'm creative and I give you a first draft of something and you still don't like it, then I give you a second draft and you don't like it, a third draft, you don't like it, and you're not giving any direction, I don't know. You saw my work, so you knew why you were hiring me. It's not really toxic, that's just me venting about clients. But that's all I gotta say. There are great and amazing managers, amazing leadership out there. One of my favorite supervisors, Taylor, she was amazing. She was great. She was fantastic. If I had any issues, she would talk through them with me. Honestly, my favorite supervisor ever. I want to hear your thoughts on toxic workplaces. My advice, like I mentioned a little bit earlier in the video, is it can be hard when you're in a toxic workplace to actually talk to your managers about it. Maybe even HR. I feel like sometimes I've heard the stories of people going to talk to managers and supervisors and HR, and it honestly just gets worse. And so I don't know, kind of feel that out at your current company if that's something that you're going through. But just start looking for different jobs, you know, go on the job hunt. Don't be afraid to quit. It's risky when you have a family, when you have bills to pay. I 100% get it. If it is just tearing you down mentally, it's time to move on. And I think a lot of people know that, but just a reminder, it's okay. It's okay if you've only been in the company for 1 month, you've only been there for 6 months, you've only been there for 8 months, you've been there for 10 years. If the workplace is toxic and it is affecting you horribly and you're just not happy there, look for a new job. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Have a great day. I will see you guys in the next video. I will see you guys next time. Have an amazing day and thank you for watching. I hope you like, subscribe, and share this video. Bye. Bye.